Hi. Welcome to the Human Design for Marketing podcast. I'm your host, Yvette Mayer, and this show's for you if you're done with cookie cutter marketing and ready to build your personal brand in alignment with who you really are. Let's dive in. Hello, and welcome back to the Human Design for Marketing podcast with your host, me, Yvette Mayer. I am here today to finish off the 12 lessons for 2024 series. Now, it is mid-January, so we're a little bit later in bringing this to you, but I did want to make sure that I had time and space to reflect on December, which is the 12th lesson, and then for a myriad of other reasons, the last couple of weeks didn't go exactly to plan. I ended up quite sick, but here I am. And I'm going to do you an extra special bonus in this episode. I'm not only going to share with you the lessons and wins from December, lesson 12. I'm also going to, I've just written them all down. I'm going to go through all 12 lessons really quickly because boy, oh boy, was there some magic in here. Not all easy. Some of it was very challenging. In full transparency, I don't know why I did this to myself, but just before I hit record, I listened back to the 9th episode in the series where I lost my doggy and have been crying because, of course, that made me cry. I think because I've just gotten back from being away for the last 5 weeks and coming back home and her not being here, it's just all a bit tender again. Anyway, I digress. Let's get into December and then into the 12 lessons of the year. Okay, so I have a lot of great and exciting stuff to share on December. And I really took some time to think about what was the biggest thing that I wanted to share. And it's this. Despite the roller coaster ride that was my personal life in 2024, one thing that I was very, very committed to was building my business in alignment with who I am as a human to be the most fully expressed, fulfilling, and impactful operation, let's call it, that it could possibly be. And that meant that I was incredibly intentional with the decisions that I made in my business and how everything flowed, whether that was in changing how I sold programs to creating new ways to attract new people in. If you listen to the whole series, you'll hear how that all unfolded. But the undercurrent, the reason that it was a hugely successful year for the business is because I had so much intention. And I work with intention a lot with my clients in my business. I really believe that when we take intentional action versus set a goal and try to get there, that we speed up the process. Intentions are active. Like when I say to you, I am evolving my business model for more freedom, I'm actually doing it. I don't have a goal. Well, I do, but it's not the same as saying I have a goal of having more freedom in my business model. I don't know, there's this extra amplifier that occurs when you're in this active language of intention. And it's something that I've been doing for the last couple of years, really not setting goals for my business, but building a vision and then creating the intentions or the commitments in terms of my intentions around how I will achieve what I want and bring that vision to life. And boy, has that been powerful. Like it is a big part of why things are in such incredible shape. So December was an incredible month, incredible. I was in Australia for only the first week. I spent 4 nights in Bali, and the rest of December I was on the most incredible trip with my family. We went skiing in Austria in a place called St. Anton's. I spent a long weekend in Munich in Germany and went to the Christmas markets and went go-karting randomly. Then we went via Barcelona to the south of France and a little town called Narbonne, where my nephew had been living for 6 months. And we spent a week there really getting to know his community. It was a beautiful little town with little backyard lanes. There was a lot of Christmas activity going on, like Christmas markets, as well as a like light festival. We went out to vineyards. We just had so much fun, actually. If I was going to use one word for the entire trip where I was with my family, it would be fun. I laughed to the point of crying happy tears every day. It was so special. It was so special. I'm so grateful that I got to go on this adventure and that my business supported me to do that. I flew business class. That was luxe, amazing. I felt so good. I really never expected that I would be in a position to fly business class after my corporate career, but here I am. Yes, I did get a good deal, but I made a decision and I invested in myself and doing it in style, and I loved that. It was just super cool, super bougie. After Narbonne, we went to Paris, and that's where I finished up my 2024 in Paris. Cute little, again, like we stayed in a really cool villagey area. The Marais in Paris. We went sightseeing. We went to the Musée d'Orsay, up to Montmartre. We had a super crazy fun New Year's Eve. Everything was awesome. And at the same time, because all the work that I'd been putting in through the year, I had an incredibly abundant business month. I was making sales every day that I was away, despite the fact that I was completely offline. Yeah, I threw a few stories up on Instagram now and again, but I was offline, very offline. And it wasn't just like low ticket sales. I was also having people join the Frequency Project, sign up for upgrades to coaching. Like all of this was happening whilst I was skiing, whilst I was shopping in Paris. And the joy of that, it felt so good. It was almost like I had to stop myself talking about it with my family, because I'm like, do they really want to hear me carrying on about how fantastic my business is all the time? But it was just bubbling up out of me, because not only was I with my loved ones, and I have to say that time with my brother, my sister, their spouses, their kids, concentrated time together was incredibly special. Like I'm closer to my family than I've ever been right now. And that feels amazing. The fun, there was never any tension. There was just fun. There was so much laughing. We're just also similar. We have the same values. We laugh at the same things. It was just spectacular. And to feel this abundance and also reward for my efforts and having been so intentional happening at the exact same time, well, that was priceless. It really was. It led me into an even greater place of joy to have everything working together. So it's a bit of a cherry on top, December, in a way, because if you've listened to this 12 episode series, you've heard there's been a lot of challenge. There's been a lot of needing to be patient. It's been a lot to get to where we are now. And it is absolutely worth it. And it's achievable. Like it's something that when you are prepared to be intentional, have a clear vision, work towards it, even when it's difficult, keep going, rise up through the challenges, learn from lessons, learn from mistakes, keep taking aligned action, that you will get to where you want to be. That is my lived experience. So that's December. But I also, as I said, I wanted to go back through the lessons. So I'm not going to dive into every month, but I am going to give you the 12 lessons of 2024 in quick succession. So the first lesson was that when chaos shows up in your life, this is very gate 3, by the way, which is my personality sun gate, but when chaos shows up in your life, the best response is innovation. It's not melting down, it's pausing to see what different actions you can take to move through the chaos and come out in a better and more joyful place. Lesson 1. Lesson 2 is that when we put big effort in, that we always need to reward that in our nervous system by taking a pause, getting offline, getting out in nature. The recalibration process needs to be planned into the way we run our businesses so we don't burn out and so that we build in a way where we can sustain. Number 3 was that alignment is richness. You will not have a richly rewarding life if you build your business out of alignment, and it needs to be prioritized for you to have a richly rewarding life. Number 4, one of my favorites, birthday month. Number 4 is you're not too old and it's not too late. I started my online business when I was 47. I am 54 this year, and I'm still just moving more and more in the direction of my wildest dreams. There's no stopping me. Things are getting bigger and better, and age is just a number. Number 5, this one's very near to me, and it may be personal, but I also suspect I'm not alone in this. And that is that when we set high expectations, that we also set ourselves up for disappointment. This has been my experience, and this was in relationship to a launch, but I find that this is, at least for me, an area that I have learned to be very careful around. It's assuming that something's going to work without evidence, or that if you do X, Y, and Z, you're going to have a outcome, when life just isn't like that. And if we hold on to these expectations really tightly, it sets ourselves up to have big lows afterwards. And this is one of the lessons of my life. Like I'm not on the other side of this. I think I'll be learning this forever because I'm a very optimistic person and I like to believe that it's all happening, everything is amazing. And sometimes I go too far with that and set myself up with these expectations that, if they're not met, can lead me to falling into a heap. So more work on that one, but it's a really important lesson. Number 6, well, this one's really about loss, and lesson 6 was the month that I lost my dad. I think that the biggest lesson here is that it doesn't matter how important your business is. It's never going to be the priority. Your priority are your loved ones and your lived experience. And when the shit hits the fan, you do want to have a business that keeps tracking along, if possible, because it won't matter in those moments and you will need to be able to step away. So I guess this lesson is twofold. It's build a business that is a true business that can keep making money when you're not in the business, but also don't get so wrapped up in that business that you are in any way resisting walking away from it when real life shows its ugly head. So, bit of both there. Lesson 7 is that for us to grow effectively, we often need to make space for the growth. So decluttering is such a powerful technique. Let's call it a technique, even a manifestation technique, like making space, clearing out, getting rid of the rubbish is so powerful when it comes to sparking your growth. And that was something that I really did a lot of in July. Lesson 8 is when you set these intentions and you know where you're going and you're taking action, sometimes it's not going to look like you're moving in the right direction or you're getting what you want. But you must trust the process and have faith that if you're coming from a place of pure intention and you're taking action, that the universe is going to deliver you exactly what is right for you. It may look a little bit different than your vision, but it will ultimately be what is right, true, and most fulfilling for you. Number 9, that was the tough month with my little doggy. So the biggest lesson for me is that love and pain go hand in hand, and the more you love, the more it hurts. So grief, size of your grief is very much the size of your love, and it's just life. Time does start to heal. But I think you and I would both agree that it's worth it. The size of the love is worth the size of the pain, even if it's hard as we go through it. Number 10 lesson is that we all have money wounds. Yes, we all do. I've never worked with anybody in my entire business coaching life, coming up to 7 years now, with a single individual that didn't have money issues, money wounds. But what I've learned to be true is that it's not actually the money, it's what we believe about money and what we make it mean. So you're not alone. We all have this. It's something to improve, to grow through, but it's not going to go away. It's hardwired. It's so hardwired, and it's something to see, to work with, to get comfortable with, and to be aware when your patterns are running and you're slipping into some of your lower frequency thoughts and behaviors. And work with it, because it is just energy at the end of the day, and we get to enjoy ourselves and have more faith and trust in money itself. And it's not about ignoring it or hiding. It's about falling in love with the money and knowing that it's not going to be a smooth and easy relationship, but it is going to be a rewarding one. Number 11, that lesson was all about polarity, that you can have an amazing business and show up and appear to be in high vibes, everything's going well, loving business, kicking goals, and still on the back end going through major personal challenge, even in like anxiety, depression, whatever is going on. Both can coexist. You can be going through a really hard time, maybe it's a breakup, and still putting intentional effort into your business and having both. It's not like if you're in a bad energy, your business won't work. It's just not true. You get to have both, and you will have both. And this is your permission to be okay with operating a hugely successful and abundant business, even when the wheels have fallen off in your personal life. Polarity is very real, my friends. And then number 12, which is where we started with this episode, was and is all about intention. And I'm going to follow this episode up. Next week, I will record an episode about how I plan out my year, focused on intention rather than goals. So something to look forward to. It's such an amazing process, and it's going to line up perfectly with the Human Design New Year, which happens on the 22nd of January. So I'll release the episode so that you can work on your year and your big vision, setting your intentions, and I look forward to being back in your ears and doing that with you soon. Wishing you every success in 2025, whatever that looks and feels like for you. I'll talk to you real soon. Bye for now. There are heaps more resources in the show notes. I can't wait to be back in your ears again soon. Bye for now.